Okay, we're live. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Metis ecosystem update with the Metis team today. We're really happy to have you here. So let's dive in. Today, we're going to go over some updates from the Metis team. We'll talk a little bit about our technology, how it's evolving, and how we are leading the way in the space. We'll give you some updates on what's new in our marketing and business development. And you'll hear about the latest on our community ecosystem governance program. So you'll hear from a few members from the team, and then toward the end, we'll have a Q&A session. We gathered some questions from the community, and we'll address those at the end of today's live stream. Just a disclaimer that we always have to do. None of this is financial advice. We're not trying to tell you what to do with your money. We are just offering an update on what's going on with Metis and trying to give you some information so that you can make your own informed and educated decisions. We do accept questions, so you can scan this QR code to get into our Telegram. You can throw any questions in our Telegram chat, and then we will also curate these every week so that we have them prepared for the following week. So if not today, keep those coming in the future. So if you are new here, just a little background on Metis. We are a decentralized economy platform. So we're offering a space for everyone to move into Web3. We're trying to bring blockchain to the people with our innovative technology and our decentralized focus. So from decentralization, we are considering this as a process. So we've started with our tech, but also in the way that we govern things organizationally. And we are furthering down that roadmap. Our platform is meant to be very easy to use so that it's quite easy to deploy on our network. We are permissionless. We have native storage that allows us to have our transactions be very fast, very cheap, and we're still able to harness the security and decentralization of the Ethereum network. So we're going to jump into some updates on our technology. We've had a lot of new developments recently. So Elena and Pavel, our CEO Elena and our tech integrations lead Pavel is going to hop on and explain a little bit of this. So I'll kick it over to Elena.
Thank you, Ashley. And I also would like to present Ashley Spradlin to you. Ashley is our educator. So, and as you can hear from her magical voice, she's awesome in delivering, this content and the future content to you as well. So, yes, welcome to our live stream. We used to have this live stream for a while, and then we stopped, but now we are resuming those because we see that there's lots of questions that come in from the community, and we would like to allow this hour to be our question answer time with the community. So please hop on and start asking the questions, because today we're going to give you updates. So what is the latest and greatest development of Metis? Of course, right now Metis is a layer 2, leading layer 2 in terms of the cheapest fees. So our fees are right now unbeatable among other layer 2 solutions, while we stay in a decentralized and also very fast speed. So basically we are solving the blockchain trilemma. This is decentralization versus cost versus speed. So this one is solved, and Metis right now, as you see on the L2Bit, for example, and other websites, is right now is a leader in the low cost and low fees. So as we went to the Amsterdam for the event, so we connected with the L2Bit team, with the other researchers as well, because this is something in our L2 technology that is so latest and greatest that guess what? There's no name for it yet. So we are right now is still looking for the feedback from the community. We connected with L2Bit, as I said, and they proposed the name Optimistic Chain, and that's how right now they classify us, but we're still in the progress of looking of the proper name. So because the reason for that, because chain is not an accurate word, as it would imply the consensus mechanism. Metis is still rolling up the transactions and posting them on L1, which is Ethereum. So technically, it is a roll up of the transactions. It's just different from the classical roll up, and it's somewhere in the middle right now between roll up and a plasma. So that's why the word roll up maybe is not as accurate, but we are looking for other names. Right now, we just agreed to call this name is Smart L2, but we're looking for, into our community and researchers to actually find the proper name. So for you to find the proper name and help us in that, we're going to explain exactly what and how we are different. So starting from the optimistic rollup. So what is the optimistic rollup? And we used to be complete optimistic rollup up until the recent time. So this slide we displayed through all our presentations before, about live streams before, so you saw that. So what we build on top of Ethereum. Build on top of Ethereum. We, of course, collect and batch transactions. We post them on Ethereum layer 1. And we also assume that all transactions are valid until proven otherwise, which means that we leave this 7-day window for the prod proofs to be posted and to challenge the transactions. And of course, the transactions are finally getting posted on layer 1. So in that regard, we actually is very much in line with optimistic rollup, except one point. And at this point, I would like to bring Pavel to explain UTech in a little bit more detail and where exactly it gets different. Pavel? And can we switch to the next slide, please? And next. Okay, I cannot hear Pavel. Maybe there's some issue with his microphone.
He's getting it set up. Just
okay,
folks.
All right. So Pavel, you probably need to unjoin and rejoin because we cannot hear you. So let me just jump on that. So what we do collect. Oh yeah, Pavel is
there
here.
we go. Okay,
awesome.
Cool. My Zoom has been acting up a bit lately. My background's not been working. My microphone's not working. Nothing's working. But thankfully, our tech works. So I'll be talking a little bit more about the differences that are present within the solution. So for the design space that we're looking at, as an optimistic rollup before, how it worked before we batched all the transactions together, all of the individual transactions were posted on chain. After that, you can take that and you can basically recompute it on your own local verifiers. You can basically compare the end result that is posted by the sequencers. With that, you have all of the transaction data available. That's how an optimistic rollup works. In our solution to this, now, of course, this as an optimistic rollup, you have a lot of the transactions. So all of the state data that, or at least all of the transaction data is posted there. This requires a large amount of gas or large amounts of the gas fees still present in order to post all of that data. Now, what we've done is we've taken the exact data and we've posted only what is necessary and what is required to the chain. With that, when if something goes wrong, if the sequencer, for example, tries to do anything malicious, the fraud proof that a verifier would post would invoke data coming from the data storage layer that we currently have and would bring it back on chain. So when the data is needed, when the data is, when a fraud proof is being posted, the actual data would all be moved on chain and everything would be resolved on Ethereum layer 1. So this is a classification in a technical sense, like a lazy loading mechanism, where you have the actual transactions would be posted and the state would be posted as well and recomputed on Ethereum layer 1 when needed and when invoked by a verifier on the network. So in this case, this greatly reduces the transaction or the transaction cost of all transactions on Metis layer 2. So this mechanism basically collects all the transactions, posts the transaction root and also the state root. And then when needed, when a fraud proof is posted and when data needs to be verified on layer 1, all the rest of the transaction data is brought back on chain and everything is resolved on layer 1. So that's the main difference.
Thank you, Pavel, for that explanation. So yes, again, so this is our article about that. So you can scan your QR code and our QR code and get into the article. So dig deep into it. We would love you to question us. We would love you to come up with this new name that is some right now. It is L2. It is in the middle of probably somewhere in the middle of of the rollup and the plasma. Yes. So thank you so much. So for this, yeah, and actually we referred to the article that was posted earlier by Vitalik. And so this is exactly what we're doing, exploring the design space between Plasma and Rollup by posting only the necessary data onto L1 and post the additional data on demand. So this is a smart way of doing that. This is the energy saving way. This is the money saving way of doing that. But at the same time, this way is extremely secure still and decentralized as well. Yes, so right now we're debating among our community, within our team, even there's lots of names that coming up. We are taking on challenges that no other rollups have done before. We're confident in our tech, but we need your help to determine a proper name. So as we agreed, the chain is not a proper name because Metis is not a chain. We don't have consensus mechanism. We are rolling up the transactions, posting them on Ethereum, but we're doing it in a smart way. So therefore, our names that come up so far was like the smart L2, smart rollup, Rollasma, even hybrid between Rollup and Plasma, Optimium. This is some of the community names I saw in the questions, actually. And then I encourage you guys to throw our way many other names that you think would be appropriate for that. And we're going to be continuing these conversations in our live streams. And of course, all that. So now having transactions very cost-effective, very fast, and also decentralized is bringing attention to our focus of all the use cases that this technology has been developed for, and we're moving on with onboarding projects in using these use cases onto Metis platform.
Thank you so much, Elena and Pavel. Now we're going to move into some marketing and business development updates. So you'll hear from our leads on our marketing and business development teams. So we've got Chelsea and Matt. So let's kick it off here. Chelsea, there you are. Okay.
Hi, everyone. And yeah, so we do have a lot of exciting updates on the Metis marketing end. So first and foremost, I'd like to introduce myself as the new head of marketing. There's been a lot of changes that's happened within the past few months, and Metis has been continuing to grow within the industry and leading L2 innovation, which we're super excited about. And this is an end which we are focused on the marketing front. I'm not wearing as many hats as maybe former CMO, who also ran the business development end and community lead and all that jazz. I am focused on marketing, so we really want to hone in on this point, because as we grow, we really do want to continue to make a splash within the industry, which we are already doing through our innovations in our tech. But this is something that we want to showcase across the industry. And so, yes, I am focused on marketing myself and very excited to be on the team doing that. And as Elena and Pavel had mentioned, we have had a lot of very exciting updates in terms of tech innovation, such as our storage layer. So as many of you guys have heard, this is very exciting news for Metis. It does make our L2 the cheapest in the industry. And with that, we're the only L2 and chain in across the industry that meets Vitalik Buterin's threshold of having the cost transaction data below 5 cents. So we're super excited about that, and that's major news for one, right? And then in addition to that, with our storage layer enhancement, tech innovations, we have had also other news, such as you may have seen L2 Beat reclassified Metis as an optimistic chain. And as Elena and Pavel had discussed and Elena had honed in on, we are looking to classify ourselves and have our own name, potentially because we do retain a rollup structure. And so in light of this new L2 beat classification, we're thinking we want to ensure that, we're distinguished for our rollup structure, our hybrid, and truly represented not just as a chain, but, for our actual tech that we're leading, and we are doing something different. And so with that, we might have our own different name. And then in addition to that, I would say we're you may have noticed we've been very focused on the tech. So we are doing a lot of builder focused marketing, and this is important in order to attract top tier projects, to showcase that we are the top first choice solution, layer 2 to build on. And in addition to that, of course, we have our builder mining rewards. We're super, that's this incredible incentive for projects to build on our chain, or our L2 rather. And so, we want to make sure that, these types of innovations, these types of incentives are truly marketable throughout the industry for projects to join our ecosystem. And then we are, honing in on the NFT sector as well. And then in the future, we are going to have exciting updates in terms of product, such as decentralized autonomous corporations, companies, DACs. You may have heard a lot about that from our team. I know Pavel's done a lot of presentations on it, Ashley as well. And essentially, this is a whole other product that we'll be offering. It's an evolution of DAOs, and so it's a new structure, a lot of different tools that DAOs can incorporate in order to have a more functioning organization or company, like a full functioning decentralized company. So we're super excited about this product, as well as pushing on to marketing Web 2 to Web 3. So bringing on Web 2 companies to blockchain. And Stefan will mention that soon, because he is working on that specific area and leading that charge. And in the future, we also will have additional products like reputation power. So you'll hear more about that. I'm not going to give it all away, but still in development. But there will be a lot of really exciting products, innovations to look forward to within Metis. And on the marketing end, we're very excited about this too, as we really push through in the industry as a leading L2 and blockchain solution for not just Web3, but also Web 2.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. Matt, could I get you to come on and chat with us a little bit about API 3's security solution?
Absolutely. Before I hop in there, I'm just gonna give more of like a general biz dev update. So we've been working like very closely with the founders to more strongly define our business goals and base our activities around those goals. So we're really focusing on like the health of the network, looking at things like TVL and volume, users and builders. And really the way we can break down the strategy right now is quality over quantity. So as many of you are aware, Chainlink is currently performing their integration with our chain, and essentially the floodgates are opening. A ton of protocols in the space strictly use Chainlink for their oracles just due to the reliability of them and many other factors. So a lot of these protocols that have actually been looking to deploy on Metis, for example, have essentially kind of been put behind this gate waiting for Chainlink. So essentially the floodgates are opening, and we're targeting all of the flagship protocols right now. We're not going to give any names. We've learned our lesson there, but just know that we're talking to pretty much all of the flagship protocols. We're really focused on building the right relationships. And CEG has been incredibly helpful for our biz dev team in terms of, you know, freeing up resources to really pursue those high target protocols and all that sort of stuff. And lastly, a very heavy research focus. And we're also rolling out the ambassador program as well. And we're really looking forward to getting the ambassadors involved and working with them in like a collaborative spirit as well, because we know that our community is so amazing. And myself, I personally came from the community. There are quite a few people on the team that have as well. So really excited to get that collaborative feel going again. And yeah, in terms of API 3, they just integrated their quantum random number generator. So protocols can basically use this to achieve optimal randomness and all that sort of fun stuff. So we're really excited how things are going right now on the biz dev side. And let's just say there should be a pretty awesome few months coming up. That's all from me. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate that very much. Chelsea, would you like to give us a little bit of insight just for a sec on the L2 rollathon before we roll into CEG? Oh, you're on mute still, Dara.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. Actually, thank you for including this. Very excited. So we are inviting builders to participate in our bounty. So we are sponsoring the Gitcoin L2 rollathon, and we are looking for innovative dApps in preferred areas of DAOs, automation tooling. There's a $5,000 USDC bounty, which will award with different prizes for 3 different projects. So we're very excited for any L2 builders out there to participate in this specific hackathon. Please do join the Telegram. We have the Metis developers Telegram. I can drop it in the chat. I'm not quite sure how to share that with everyone, but on our Twitter, you'll find a link here as Ashley has highlighted, and you can go to the specific bounty that does include information such as our Telegram, how to participate, and we're excited to be involved in this with Gitcoin, as Gitcoin is a project that supports public goods and open source developers and development and values and a vision which we support as well. So we're excited to participate, partner up with Gitcoin, and also to see all the exciting projects that are submitted through the hackathon. So good luck, and we're looking forward to seeing your projects.
Thank you, Chelsea. Yeah, you can use the QR code here on this slide to scan and learn more on that. So before we move into CEG, I want to invite Stefan on to the call to give a little bit of insight. Stefan leads our Web2 enterprise business. So he's helping bring more Web2 businesses into the Web3 space. And I think it would be awesome to hear from him on what he's doing. So Stefan, would you like to come off mute?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. It's very exciting to take a very wide view of Metis, its technology, and where we fit in the entire crypto and blockchain industry. And when we did that zoom out, we realized that there was an entire segment of enterprise corporate type customers who we call Web 2 because they're not quite yet onto the blockchain, or they haven't quite yet figured out what their crypto strategies would be, and to try to provide them an amazing suite of solutions to on-ramp them in whatever way is appropriate for them. So for some companies, it could be a bank, it could be a brand, it could be a consumer goods company, it could be any Fortune 500 company, or even SMEs. For some of them, it'll be taking parts of their data and putting it on the blockchain. And so they would be looking for transparency, decentralization. They'd be looking for, cost optimization. So we've got a way to do that as a utility token. Over and above that, there are customer retention type strategies. So let's say that you're a retailer and you want to replace the customer loyalty card with some sort of a living, breathing crypto related card. So something that would maybe issue NFTs. Brand extensions are looking towards NFTs as ways of building out their communities. Again, Metis can be used as a platform for these marketing and customer retention solutions to happen. We're in the process of speaking with an airline, which would like to do the same with their air miles. So turning their air miles into living, breathing, and value appreciating entities. So I'm just giving you guys a sense that there is a very wide amount of solutions that the Metis technology and platform is able to provide for. We're working with, in the world of sustainability, we're working with a farm and regenerative type community to actually create NFTs from rows of what they grow, of their crops. And they've already, sold out of those NFTs. So that is being used as a way to sustainably finance their farming activities. We're working with, again, on the green theme, a company that does carbon credits in the form of what we call a carbon sponge through the issuance of an NFT. So we discovered that while the world of crypto is not always considered very environmental, there's a lot of interest in trying to, green up the carbon footprint of this industry. And one way is to use it as a platform to finance a lot of green projects and to issue carbon credits. So lots of opportunities. Again, we're all about creating an infrastructure layer that can support multiple dApps, multiple vertical solutions. It can go in the direction of metaverses. It can go in the direction of NFT issuances, tokenizing strategies, launch pads for IDOs. All of these can happen for the world of Web 2. And we're there to handhold them through that launching onto Web 3. So that's it in a nutshell. Happy to answer any specific questions later.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stefan. So as we move into CEG, I just want to address that we're running a little over on time because everybody's been so excited to finally talk to the community. So we're going to move into CEG and then we'll get to your questions. All right. So Doug, can you pop on and start talking with us a little bit about how the community ecosystem governance process is going?
Absolutely. And I will definitely try to take a quick here. We're in our 4th week of CEG. It's been a great success. We are continuing to see turnout. Every week more people are voting. And it's really just a platform for the community to have a voice in the projects that we co-market with, a voice for how we continue to market. You vote projects in, and it also gives the developers, a direct connection to the community. So it's really exciting. The live stream's been going great. I'm sure some people watching have certainly tuned into the Thursday live streams. Trying to do it every Thursday. Have at least 2 projects on, and it just kind of highlights those projects and gives you a chance to vote. We've also got our Metis Governance Twitter account. That's continuing to grow as well. We've got over 1,000 followers. Check there for details and developments of how the voting's going, who's up next for the live stream, and reminders of when they are. But yeah, again, the way it works is projects will submit a proposal on CandyDAC. That is our form and our message board. They must be deployed to Andromeda, and they also must have a quick video. And that video, we do show during the live stream. And then it's just an informal chat. We introduce the guests, we play their video, and then we answer questions from the community. And we do have CandyDAC, but something I am excited to announce today, we are going to open up a community governance channel. We do prefer that you interact with the projects on CandyDAC. However, this channel that we're going to open is just going to be kind of a more informal chat room. Maybe you can discuss the prior week's voting, or you could ask questions there during the live stream as well as YouTube. And after that, after the live stream, snapshot vote goes live. They'll have 72 hours to vote, and it must have an 80% pass rate. So we actually have almost all the projects so far have passed, and gotten those votes. And these projects are, we got Hera, Signata, Meet with Wallet, Dex Pools, Chain Starters. Just a good variety, some infrastructure, some like Hera's a Dex aggregator. That's really cool. But we look forward to, hosting more quality projects and really highlighting those to the community. Also, just wanted to highlight too, shout out to the Metis Lab Foundation. They did an airdrop last week. Over 150 wallets got this airdrop. It was one Metis, depending on how many weeks you voted in. And yeah, there might be more airdrops, and we just want to encourage voting and also reward the active participants in the CG. Oh, also next week we almost forgot NetSwap and Snapshot. Two great projects. I'm sure everybody's familiar with NetSwap and of course Snapshot as well. And we look forward to highlighting those.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Doug. Okay, let's move into our Q&A, folks. We've got about half an hour to go, so let's see if we can get as many questions answered as possible. So these were collected from our community, and I know that I've seen some more added in the chat, so we're just going to get through as many as we can, and don't worry, we will do more of these. So if we don't get to your question today, we will. The first question is, Metis is not an L2, it is an Optimium at this point. How can you call yourself a rollup if you don't post call data to L1? So I think Elena is going to address that one for us.
Okay, sounds good. So yes, we actually do post call data to L1 on demand. So technically, we are a roll up. We still rolling up transactions, we posting them. It's just we do it in this smart way. So we don't post by default like all data, but in terms of when it is being verified and when it is being requested, it is posted onto L1.
Thank you, Elena. The next question says, I understand the state roots are still sent to Ethereum in this case, but my understanding is that fraud-proof data is now off-chain. Have I misunderstood this new architecture? Yeah, so I think you kind of missed that, but
okay, yeah, I can go, and maybe we can alternate with Pavel as well. So yes, so fraud proofs does not require transactional data. So all it needs to the transaction to commit when which the sequencer still can submit.
Awesome, thank you. So the data is off-chain until the fraud-proof process has begun, and then this data is posted on the L1.
That's correct. That's correct on a on per need basis. Yes.
Cool. And so the data needs to be on the mainnet to be considered an L2 rollup. Is that correct?
Okay, so we kind of like, maybe that's like all the same question, just rephrased in a different way. So again, so Metis is definitely Ethereum L2. It's an L layer 2. So it's not a separate chain with a consensus mechanism with the validating of transactions. Not. It is still rolling up the transactions into the batches and posting the data onto Ethereum L1. It is still decentralized, and it's still secured by Ethereum. So it is a blend though between, so like somewhere middle ground between rollup and plasma. So we're still discussing the exact name, as I was saying, with with you, even like with the community. But the main culprit of the argument that people making is not being a rollup, that is only partial data is posted, but then complete data can be posted on demand. So we can have a complete data on L1 on demand, and that's what is actually happening. So, and this is also optimistic mechanism. Just I have to remind you, like, about optimistic rollups, about all optimistic rollups. All data is being posted, and right now the bigger problem probably right now that the verification is not incentivized. So basically, all this data is coming through, but it's not guaranteed to be verified by the community, and that's something that we are working towards, that it actually would be, so to make it even more secure than any of the optimistic rollups.
Awesome, thank you. Let's do, so someone asked, how fast is Metis in terms of throughput speed, transactions per second?
It's Pavel.
Sure. Yeah. I can answer that, but basically the transactions per second is limited to Ethereum layer 1. So as soon as Ethereum layer 1 goes through the sharding, and when ETH 2.0 finally releases and sharding is implemented, the throughput will increase with it. But currently it is limited to about 2,000 transactions per second. We currently haven't reached anywhere near that amount based on that request, but that's the theoretical throughput maximum. But after the ETH 2.0 upgrades, the throughput maximum would be about 100,000 transactions per second, according to Vitalik's post about this topic.
So this is the industrial standard, actually, like to have the businesses to work properly.
Pavel, could you also address, someone asked about current batch sizes. So they seem to be reaching 500 to 700, and while prior to April 11th, the batch sizes were barely 300. Is that
Sorry, was navigating tabs.
Okay.
So there's no changes in terms of the batch sizes. So the batch sizes are exactly the same in terms of that. That's I mean, in order to keep the costs for every batch consistent with how we were as an optimistic rollup, it would still be the same in terms of that.
Awesome. Thank you, Pavel. I have a few questions here for Kevin, one of our other founders. If Kevin, could you answer, when will the community-oriented DAC template be released? There's some questions about DAC staking plans as well.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, I can cover that. First, DAC framework is infrastructure layer stuff. So we hope to build it right before we release it. And it's also connected closely with the reputation power. So our estimated timeline is end of second quarter to release the DAC second version and also the reputation power. So everyone, when you do transactions on the chain, when you do collaborations on the chain, you will also accumulate your reputation power. So it's all, will come in together. And I guess the next question is about staking, right? Yeah, actually with the DAC version 2 online, there will be one major function called ecosystem nodes, which means everyone can create your own DAC and stake Metis token to earn Metis, which represents the voting power in the Metis ecosystem or Metis community. So at that time, when you stake, there will be a stable staking rewards to be issued. So please wait for the product release at that time. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I also have a question here for you, Kevin, about Yuan mentioned something about feeless swapping and transfer at Metis Fest. Can we have any clarity on that? Maybe you or Pavel could answer that.
Yeah, Pavel, can you?
Sure, absolutely. So this is something that I also talked with the Optimism team about. They're also working on something related to this, the BLS wallets. So having a different type of signature scheme allows for these feeless transfers and allows for even lower costs with that. So BLS signatures are something that we're looking at and want to encourage wallet providers for supporting this type of signature scheme. So that's what we're looking at in terms of supporting within our own ecosystem, and we're taking steps in order to even lower the costs on top of whatever that we've lowered the costs down to.
Thank you. I'm going to turn this into kind of a marketing and biz dev chat now. So we had a couple of questions on Chainlink integration and advertising about Chainlink. So Chelsea, would you mind hopping on and addressing when Chainlink?
Yep, of course. So the Chainlink devs are hard at work right now. So they are doing something. Devs are doing something. We meet with them bi-weekly. I would say that we can't give a hard and confirmed timeline, although of course on those bi-weekly calls, we ask every single time. And so as far as making formal announcements about the actual confirmed date or timeline, we refrain from doing that. We do make mentions because they are working on it. And so of course, on the business development front, as they're speaking with projects that would need Chainlink, we can ensure them that this is something that we will have. But as far as a formal announcement, this is currently being reserved until we do have a confirmed date timeline. In addition to that, we don't want to make too much noise, right, until we actually do have the integration complete, because if we make a big announcement and yet we still don't have it, it would take away from the official launch. So this is very important, and alongside that, Chainlink, we're working with their marketing team. So we will not only be promoting this on our end, but this will be something Chainlink too is also co-marketing with us alongside other projects who will be building with us through Chainlink, or once Chainlink is integrated. So we are able to make mentions, but as far as formal announcements, we're not going to, give a confirmed date until we actually, for one, have a confirmed date. And then we don't want to make, too much of a campaign until it's actually complete, in order to ensure that, it's it makes the proper noise, and it's a strong announcement, and we don't take away from the official launch. So this is thoughts on the actual Chainlink. When Chainlink, strategy.
I also would like to add to it,
yeah.
like Chelsea, if you don't mind. Yes. So yeah, I'm in the chat with the integration, in the integration chat with Chainlink, and I can see it back and forth going on between our dev team and the Chainlink. Yes, they are in the process, and it is a very complicated process. So this is not a simple integration. Like, for example, if the app comes on Metis and integrate, it's very easy. But for the Chainlink, it's actually a very difficult and lengthy process. So we ask you to be patient. So for the projects that are right now on Metis, and if you need a Chainlink in any specific shape and form, please go and tag our admins in our Telegram chat, so we would know about your special requirements. It's going to help us. Thank you.
Thank you. So just one more question toward that note is plans for attracting builders and having larger projects deploy and build on the Metis ecosystem. So Kevin, Pavel, could one of you answer that, please?
Yeah. From our side, I think attracting legit projects will require efforts from different perspectives. First is the infrastructure layer, like Chainlink, API3, and other projects we are working on. They will provide the foundation for more projects to build on Metis, and that is what we are building now. And then, of course, we need this marketing and Biz Dev team to work towards the relationship building with top-tier projects and other projects that we all these teams have been going to different events and partners. So they're doing networking, and also we're talking with different projects. We hope to build up this kind of relationship or collaborative opportunities with them. And also I will mention the CEG part. I think CEG will bring the community, actually the Metis community, to the projects if they hope to communicate with Metis community from the beginning. This is a great exposure opportunity for them. We believe this can benefit the project and Metis ecosystem, at the same time. Last but not least is our every month we will release the builder mining rewards, and the more transaction you bring, the app bring, the more rewards it will have. So we hope to use this way to incentivize long-term builders. As I mentioned, it's team efforts to bring more large projects and legit projects on the chain. So and we are working on it. Thanks.
I was on mute. Thank you so much, Kevin. Awesome. Okay, so before we move into a little bit more on CEG, there's one more question here. Matt gave us an awesome business development overview earlier, but this one says specifically the community would like to know a little about conversations with Yuga Labs. They'd like to see proposal posted on Yuga like one was done for Aave. So Matt or Jose, does anybody want to address that one?
Yeah, I'd love to let Jose speak on this. He really took the lead on the proposal.
Cool. Jose, are you with us?
You're on mute.
Maybe we come back to this question.
Yeah, we can come back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I did see one other question. It said something about recommendations for people who want to learn to build. So I'm going to give a personal plug here for the Crypto Chicks Academy. We have really awesome course curriculum for all different kinds of levels of experience. So I think that's a great place to start if you're looking. Now on to CEG. Haven't done blockchain voting. Does the amount of Metis I have send an impact on my voting power? Doug, can you help us out here?
Sure. So right now the current state is 1 Metis equals 1 vote. So it is kind of weighted. So depending on how many Metis you have, will go towards overall voting. For instance, and it requires, again, an 80% vote. So everybody, all the wallets that vote, there's usually a good amount, over 100. I think last week was 150 wallets that voted, and all of those Metis, either yes or no, get put towards the overall count, and it does take an 80% vote to pass.
Thank you. Let's see. We just mentioned that there is a channel for governments. Do we have any information on how the recent airdrop receipts were chosen? I think you mentioned this before, but maybe you could touch on it one more time.
Yeah, we kind of hinted at it, but it definitely kind of leaked out. So how we did it was we wanted to reward everybody who voted with at least 1 Metis. So we did see some wallets that had less than 1 Metis. It does take 1 Metis to count per the CEG rules. So everybody who voted in each week received 1 Metis. So if you voted 4 times, and you got 4 Metis. So we look forward to continue to reward our active CG participants as well.
Awesome. Someone asked, what kind of, if the community votes against a proposal, is the candidate prevented from launching on the network?
No, not at all. In fact, part of the CG process, they have to already be deployed. We are permissionless. Anybody can vote. I mean, anybody can deploy. And the CG program, just in general, just to kind of clarify that, it allows the community to have a voice in who we want to highlight, who we want to co-market with, who we want to maybe do AMAs in our telegrams, to highlight on our Metis governance and Metis main Twitter accounts, and future potential co-marketing opportunities down the road. So it is an evolution of our past state where it was kind of a centralized, just the biz dev and marketing teams got to choose. Well, they're good, so we're going to promote them. We don't like them. We're leaving that up to the community. And once the community or the projects do get that CVP status, that community verified project status, that's like a badge of honor. That just shows that it's a project that the community has voiced that they support, and it signals to the Metis team, especially the marketing teams, that the community wants us to further market them. And conversely, if they vote no, then you're telling us we don't want you to market them because for whatever reason they don't support it. So the program's going to continue to evolve. It's kind of gotten better every week. We're seeing more turnouts. Candy Decks getting more active participation. We're going to open up the Metis Governance Telegram channel. So looking forward to having more feedback and having a direct kind of connection with the community and really building out the CEG process and program to being your program, right? So that's in the spirit of decentralization. It's just one of the many things as we move forward in our path to decentralization. It's a key part. The community is the most important part of a decentralized program. So we're really looking forward to CG continuing to evolve and then having the community help us evolve CG.
Thank you so much, Doug. Okay, I'm going to give us 2 more questions, y'all, and then we're going to wrap it up. So I'm going to come back to Jose on the Yuga Labs proposal. Jose, are you with us? Can you answer that for us now?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. Okay, so about Yuga Labs, whenever we saw that Yuga Labs got that agreement with Polygon, we made it like one of our top priorities to get in touch with them with a solid proposal. Like the proposal that we're building or that we have almost like pretty much done focuses on great functionality, long-lasting DAO sustainability, and unbeatable profitability, among other things. Since Metis is EVM equivalent, like all the contracts could easily be deployed on Metis Andromeda. Given the network's nature, there's a wide variety of use cases for Yuga Labs collection in our network, including, but not limited to, collateral lending, fractionalization, staking, auto-compounding, all types of things. And besides, now that we count with the API 3 quantum random number generator, we can provide better speed, better randomness, and better overall functionality for future means or randomness requiring events, as well as to secure the network in general. The long-lasting DAO sustainability. So Metis Andromeda prioritizing builders. So we're devoted to our ecosystem thriving. And that includes existing projects and new integrations. So ApeCoin DAO needs alternatives to put its funds to work. And Metis could boost any project or mechanism that ApeCoin DAO would like to launch for revenue creation or long-term sustainability. How exactly? Through our builder mining rewards. Our builder mining rewards give back to each protocol approximately 30% of the transactions generated, all the transaction fees generated. So could equate to an outstanding amount of money if we're talking about Yuga Labs or such a big project. In terms of profitability, it's DeFi and NFT. I'm not going to go fully into details, but it's just focusing all of what we just said on how to create DeFi excellence and an NFT paradise. So Ashley, I hope that answered your question, and I give it back to you.
Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that response. One last question. I think this one would be great for Kevin or Pavel. It says, will it be possible to be a validator, or will there be open applications for being a ranger in the future?
Yeah, actually, currently, I think we have over 80 verifier nodes running, and the application is not open for now, but please stay tuned with us. If the application opens, we will let the community know. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also, I see the questions related to where to learn about Metis and how to build on Metis. So guys, you can go to metis.io. We have for developers, we have the whole section. You can also go to docs.metis.io. This is the direct link to the educational material that we posted on Metis. And also we are in the process right now of renewing our website, so it's going to be more information in there.
Thanks so much. All right, everyone, if you have other questions or you want to reach out to us, you can, let me see, I think the next slide there you go. You can reach out to us in our Telegram. Our live stream will be again next week. So hit us up. You can DM us on Twitter. They're open, but we want to hear from you, and we hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much for joining, and that's all for today.
Thank you, and be aware that be confident that we collect all the questions that you asked today, and we're going to answer during the next live stream, so they are not lost. So we are all ears. So please ask us more questions so we can answer them. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Bye.